Hey guys and girls, welcome back to the latest episode in the History of Money series, where we delve deep into the details of everything from barter, the system we used before money was invented, why it's so important that money was invented, why banks were created, all about centralized currency exchanges, right through to where we are now with the new currency type, cryptocurrencies. My name is Jake Owens and this is Millionaire Mindset Hub. Alright. Let's get into it. Can you imagine it? Life before money, where each one of us was completely self-sustained. Families had their own clothing factories in the basement they'd send their children down to work in. They had their own food production lines of chicken, cows, and eggs. They had their own forests for firewood. They never spoke to their neighbors or ever left their property. I mean, would you? When you had all that you need in the world right there on your property? Life was pretty good. I'm totally kidding, guys. Life wasn't like that at all before the first government-issued currency was released in Lydia from King Eliates in the 7th century BC, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll save that for a future video. In fact, life was pretty difficult for getting what you needed to survive day to day before money was created. What you'd need to do was trade what goods or services you have for the goods or services that someone else has, which you desire. This is called barter. The reason the system is so difficult is because you need to find people at exactly the right time who are wanting the goods or services you have to offer. And they would have to have what you would want to trade for what they require. The term for this is the double coincidence of wants. Because that's pretty much what it is, a coincidence that both you and the other person want what each other has and can come to an agreement of exchange. For example, if you wanted something person A had, but person A didn't want anything you had, you'd have to find out what they want, go to person B who has what person A wants, trade with person B for what person A wants, assuming person B wants what you want, then go back to person A and trade what you obtained from person B for what you originally wanted that person A had, hoping that person A hadn't already traded that item or time for service to someone else, or stopped wanting the original service or good they wanted entirely. The other problem is, if person B didn't want what you had to offer, you'd have to find out what they wanted, then go to person C, etc, 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 until you finally found a person who wanted what service or good you had to provide, then trade all the way back up to person A. This process takes a lot of time and energy, so what people used to do was make friends with others in their city or town who had the goods or services they would require on a regular basis. They would do this in order to set up a system where they'd always have the resources of skills and goods that they needed throughout the year. For example, each season an orchard owner would exchange a portion of their fruit with one or a select few animal herders for their yearly meat requirements. The same orchard owner would exchange their fruit with specific people to fill all of their yearly needs, such as the shoemaker. This allows people to have a consistent and reliable flow of resources that they need to survive year to year. But unfortunately, this left people with unneeded skills or goods that no one wanted without the ability to easily transfer those to desired goods or services someone else had, which was a very serious problem for the people who had nothing, as it would be very difficult for them to obtain what they needed each year for survival, as they wouldn't be able to set up reliable or regular exchanges between other people to gain resources, as others whom have desired goods or services can. This is why a lot of people specialized in a lot of things such as orchards or shoemaking or anything else, so that they would have a needed service within the community that they would be able to trade for. Another overbearing issue with barter is its inability to have a standardized value. The reason for this is because of individual resources which dictate the need and desires of each individual. For example, let's just say you're a carrot grower and you have an abundance of carrots and you go to the market wishing to exchange some of your carrots for a cow that would produce milk for you and your family. The trouble is, each individual who has a cow sets their own standard of the value on your carrots. Say person A has a small carrot garden in their home that produces some carrots, but not all that they need throughout the year. So they still need to trade with someone for carrots, however, because they grow some of their own, they don't have a high value for them. Whereas person B, who chose to use their garden to grow potatoes instead of carrots, would have a higher need for carrots and therefore place a higher value on them, and would be willing to trade a higher valued item to them for a smaller amount of carrots than person A would require for a higher valued item to them, such as a cow that produces milk. This means if you went to person A, they might offer you a cow that produces milk for maybe 200 carrots, whereas the person right next to them, person B, might only require 120 carrots for their cow that produces milk. And the biggest problem is, how do you know which person will give you the best deal? Well, you don't, unless you go to everyone in the marketplace who is willing to trade a cow that produces milk for carrots. However, by the time you realize who has the best deal, they've probably already been taken and done a trade with somebody else, leaving you to have to trade with someone who would require a larger quantity of carrots. So, in conclusion, barter is the system of trade which relies on double coincidence of wants, which means that you both have to want what each other has and can come to an agreement of exchange. One of the biggest concerns with this system is its inability to standardize value, as it changes depending on the needs and wants of each individual, rather than the entire community. Basically, barter isn't the best system if it's your only option. However, it can be a good alternative to a monetary system in specific cases, but cannot be the overriding societal way of obtaining what each individual or community requires. Hey guys and girls, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If it provided you with any value and you feel that way inclined, please hit that subscribe button below and like the video. If you've got any questions or would just like to reach out and say hi, please do so in the comment section below or just feel free to PM me. Again, thanks a ton for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of The History of Money, where we take a look at the concept of IOUs. In the meantime, check out our other series, the Bitcoin series or the Don't Ask Your Dad series, or if you're watching this in the future, whatever else we come up with here at Millionaire Mindset Hub. Alright, I'll see you then. Cheers.